Welcome back, folks, to Brian's Action Figure Reviews. We're here with a brand new retro Wrestle Chat. And once again with me is Stephen Tuberty. Boy, Tubbs, how are you today?
Good, man.
We are on episode number 39. Who'd have thought we'd have got this far? And today's match... Yes. And today's match is from TNA, as you can see from the back of Tubbs' background. Tubbs, so what TNA match have you invested or put on our shoulders?
I have chosen to, I've chosen for us to review and watch and speak about Bound for Glory 2005, Monsters Ball, Rhyno, Sabu, Abyss, and Jeff Hardy.
Now, I know that you are a big Jeff Hardy fan, and you're doing the character and all there. It's fantastic timing. And what I failed to mention before was I used to be a big Rhyno fan, and I've even met him before. And it was around this time, actually, I think 2004, 2005. And when they say Man Beast, they actually are right, because he is jacked to shit, and he's an awesome guy as well. So enough chit chat. On with the match. So, what are your kind of memories from this? Why you picked it and stuff?
Well, I mean, I remember. I mean, obviously we've talked about things before. Do you know what I mean? And our wrestling stuff. So I watched a lot of TNA. Back in the day, but it was these. I loved the differences of the gimmick matches. Growing up now, obviously some of them weren't as good. Do you know what I mean? But it was just this match. It wasn't all the Monsters Ball. I was never a big, massive fan of this specific match, but it was just I remembered this match, and I really only picked this because there was a spot in this match that I really wanted you to talk about, because I wasn't sure if you had seen it.
Yeah,
I think you know
I've seen it.
The match now, so we will talk about this later. But yeah, there was no crazy rhyme or reason or like I love this match with all my heart. It was just there was I chose a match because I wanted to talk about one spot.
Well, look, to be fair, like how many times have we picked a match, myself, you, or Rich, picked a match off a memory of a certain spot, and the match itself turned out to be not great. For me, that was kind of the case this time. Like, I would say trash, but that would be a bit unfair. It's not as if we recorded this months before and messed it up or anything. But anyway.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so like before we go on to the match, the whole concept of Monsters Ball, it's basically just falls count anywhere, isn't it? One fall to a finish.
Yeah, it's basically a fall count anywhere extreme hardcore match. That's basically the concept of it. I mean, look, as I said, if I ever get anything wrong on this channel or on this show and I'm talking about stuff, tell me in the comments, let me know. But I think this was like, because, TNA looked at Abyss as their Kane or their own.
Yeah, very much so.
Like darker character. I think this became kind of like, like the Undertaker's casket match became Abyss's Monsters Ball match. Now, I could be wrong. It just could have come in with Raven. I don't know. But I mean, from my memories of watching TNA, it always seemed to be linked to Abyss. So I just reckon that this became like Abyss's kind of playground match.
I think it was the two of them were in the first one, Raven and Abyss, and then he went on and he fought AJ and a few of the other like smaller wrestlers. Like I said before with Brock Lesnar, he used to always have great matches with the smaller talent, as Vince McMahon would say. But it's more or less a hardcore match between four guys, two of which were in ECW, and one of which is Jeff Hardy, who's the master of tables, ladders, and chairs. And then,
I mean, Jeff was always known. Like as I said, I mean, one thing I will say with this match is I think they, for the most part, they played to all of these guys' strengths. Like, as you said, they tapped into, Rhyno's kind of man beast style, Sabu's, hardcore fucking wrestling, because let's be honest, he's not a technical wrestler in any way, shape, or form. So it's a technical arsenal that Sabu brings. Jeff Hardy's that weird, authentic high flyer, and Abyss is the monster. He's the big guy. Which I will say one thing about this match, that I've seen it 2 or 3 times over the years, but going back, I felt Abyss was underutilized a lot in this match. Like Is that yours or mine? I think mine. Did I skip out on you?
No, go on, keep going.
Okay, cool. Sorry, folks. But I think Abyss, out of all of the four characters in this match, I think Abyss was the one that was underused. Like Rhyno was made to look like a monster in this match. He genuinely was. He looked really strong. Jeff got a lot of offense in here. Do you know what I mean? And he did what Jeff Hardy does. And Sabu does what Sabu does.
Like
Sabu
I do like
busted 2 minutes.
Like I know Sabu botches it a lot, but I like the alternative style that he does when it comes off. It can look fantastic. Like there's times there where he does up on the chair, up on the rope, and back a triple jump moonsault. I think that's fantastic when he lands it, and he did land it a few times.
In this match, he did that. He did the chair top rope moonsault, and he landed that. He actually delivered that fantastically. But it's the spot where he jumps from the chair to the top rope to the outside, and he just does this kind of. It never looks good. It just never looks good, and not even me. And that's not even me picking apart Sabu. Jeff Hardy did it at one point in the crowd, where he jumped down on top with an axe handle slam, and the axe handle slam, or the double axe handle off of anything, top rope, off of a height, whatever. It never looks good. It always
unless you're a Macho Man.
Exactly. It's a very 80s move, if you get me. Back then it was like, because they didn't do a lot of high flyers, so if you come off with a double axe handle, it looked impressive. You're in, this is the early 2000s, and we're in like 2021 now. That move, it just doesn't fly or doesn't look well, or it just doesn't look effective in any way in this generation. It's a very outdated move, is what I'm trying to say, basically. But yeah, the thing I find with Sabu though, man, Sabu always, and I've said this, I said it on the last match we reviewed with Sabu as well. Sabu always seems to come off looking the worst out of the moves he does. He always seems to look like the one that's hurt. I was kind of going, how do you fucking hurt yourself worse than the guy you've done the move to, like? And it happened about 6 times in this match. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but yeah, Sabu
was like, you think you're bad? I'm 10 times worse.
No, but I mean, like for me, it's like, you mean he's one of the pillar stones of ECW, right? Like when you think ECW, you think Sabu. Do you know what I mean? He's one of those names that flips into your head. Yeah, I just always find, I mean, like I appreciate he's an orthodox style. I appreciate that's his gimmick, and it works for him very much. I've always found Sabu so overrated, and people are probably going to hate me in the comments for saying that. But I always found him to be like a highly overrated guy in the wrestling world. Well, like I went off on a rant about Sabu.
That's fine. I'm about to go off on a rant myself, so that's fine.
Yeah. But no, but I mean, like for the most part, I mean, I did enjoy this match. I don't think it was trash or a dumpster fire, as I know I can see it in Brian's eyes. I think he's going that direction. But I think this match lost itself in pacing. It lost itself with being too convoluted and too much going on at the same time. Like the commentators there was too much going on for them to keep up. They were constantly jumping back and forth. The cameramen were jumping back and forth as well. It became very clustered, because as you would have probably said and probably agree with me, it became in the middle.
It's almost as if we did this before.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, you're sure we had technical issues and we have to redo this. It's all good.
But yeah, like let me jump on the commentary
thing. It seemed like it started as a 4-man and spread off into 2 matches and then came back into, it's like you had 3 matches in one, in a way.
Like the word I was looking for a while ago was disjointed. That's what describes this match perfectly for me. I could not focus on it. There was 2 brawls happening at the same time, and neither of them were great. The punches and stuff were this kind of handbag stuff. The handbag stuff, and then like every second shot was a chair shot or a kendo stick, and it loses impact after the 15th time that they do it. And there's tables everywhere. Like if you look at the likes of TLC, right?
4 table spots in this match.
Yeah, but I give up counting. Like I was going to say it as one of my bad moments in the match. But the time Sabu just flopped off into a table at the end of near the end of the match, I was like, I don't even care anymore. It's
I mean, I didn't have that feeling because I mean, like, as I said, I did enjoy this match. I was very aware of the issues and some of the stuff I didn't like. Do you know what I mean? It was like a 50-50 split for me. It really was like it was like I kind of felt like I enjoyed a ton of things in this match. It was a rake of spots that I really enjoyed. But as I said, you know, like as you were saying, it felt disjointed. The commentators felt like they were struggling to keep up with the action. The camera cut away halfway through an Abyss Jeff Hardy spot and cut to Rhyno and Sabu halfway through their spot. So it technically lost 2 spots by changing a camera lens. And if Rich was here, the camera spot whole thing would be a very high thing. You know, on it, and I have to agree. This week, the camera angles and the camera switches were very kind of like. And as I said before, it's not the wrestler's fault. It's not the cameraman's fault. There's just too much going on. We've talked about it before, Brian.
Multi-man matches can be done well.
That's the problem. When you have a one-on-one match, you have 2 guys. They're telling a story. They're doing their shtick, and the camera's following it. The commentators are following it. The story's being told. It's you know yourself from watching wrestling since you were young. It's you put in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When it starts going up in numbers, especially tag teams and everything, it does get to the point where it becomes hard to follow. Not just
but my point
for the wrestlers, but
my point was though that multi-man matches can be done well. Just it wasn't done well here, but at all.
No, I'm not saying that they can't be done well. I mean, I've seen triple threats and 4-way matches. I've seen 6-man matches. Like turn out like fucking 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10 star matches. Like they can be done correctly. But I think the difference. I think the problem with that is when you're watching a multi-man match that's designed for a pro wrestling story or an angle, you're more invested. So I mean, you're following it. This match, at its core, is just it's a monsters ball match. It's as you said.
This was to
It's a hardcore match with no
substance. It was to get Rhyno back into the number 1 contender spot or something, wasn't it? To Jeff Jarrett. That's the reason.
Yeah, but I mean, like you could have done that in a regular 4-way match.
Yeah.
Or a 4-way match with rules and regulations. And look, and you know me, man. I'm my bread and butter on wrestling, man, is very much the storytelling aspect, the ring psychology. That's what I love about wrestling. I love the entertainment factor of it. I love the story because at the end of the day, wrestling's a fucking show. You know, it's not fake, it's predetermined, but it's a show. You know, it is. It's like watching a TV show or a movie. Like Avengers ain't real, but it's fucking damn entertaining. You know, wrestling, you know, in a lot of ways falls under that bracket because it is an entertainment type. It's not a real sport, you know, in that sense. But yeah, I think this one was very much all spots, hardcore action, and very little substance. There was, you know, we knew what the story was, but you didn't have to, you know, it becomes, and TNA, to be fair, man, look, I know I'm ranting there, but, and TNA was...
what am I doing? Clutching at straws.
Clutching at straws. No, I'm not clutching at straws at all, I'm just ranting. But TNA, I mean, looking back over it, I mean, and I watched a lot of TNA, but I mean, I will say that they were very known for their gimmicks. You know,
but a lot of the gimmicks in TNA were brilliant.
I mean, as I said, yeah.
Can I say one thing? Halfway through the match, right, I was wondering, I looked at those 4 poles up high around the match, around the ring, and I was like, I wish I was watching Ultimate X instead of this.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there was an Ultimate X match on that pay-per-view, which I probably should have fucking picked. But as I said, man, the reasoning behind this match was literally for one major spot that I didn't know if you had seen and I wanted to talk about. So
before we indulge in that, though, let's go to the shit spots or the bad spots.
Let's talk about the crap.
We'll build it up, like, you know. Bad spots for me. Sabu trying to do his chair leg drop and ending up with the chair on his own legs, as you said earlier on, probably injuring himself in the process more than anyone else. And the other bad spot, I also mentioned it earlier, was Sabu falling into a table that he'd set up himself and the most limp fall into it I'd ever seen in my whole life. And it wasn't. It just perfectly aligned with my feelings of the match at the time. He was like, and I was like,
Oh, so when he hit, you were like already kind of like, yeah, I'm already kind of.
I was already mentally checked out.
Look, come here. Look, I mean, that's. I mean, it's your own opinion on what you viewed. So yeah, you're allowed to fucking kind of tap out when you want to, like, you know. What?
I still watch the rest of it, obviously, like, because one of my favorite spots is after that moment. So your worst moments?
I have more worst moments than you.
Well, I didn't care enough to pick anymore.
I hated the outside and the crowd stuff. You know me, I'm not. I've talked about this 100 times. It 10% of the time it works.
Only Austin and Rock do that well.
Yeah, true. There's only certain wrestlers that can really make that shit entertaining.
Moxley as well.
Like, but 9 times out of 10, when I'm watching any match and they go to the crowd, I'm kind of going, keep it around ringside or on the stage or in the ring. But I find when it goes into the crowd, it ends up it goes too long and it becomes a mess 9 times out of 10. But anyway, the crowd stuff I wasn't a fan of. Camera angle switches genuinely did annoy me because you miss certain things, and you know it wasn't massive things, but it was enough for you to go, all right, that's 2 spots I missed because they move things. Sabu ruined my head in this match. Now, and I will say one thing. This is and he was actually once I wanted stronger, but he was actually a strong enough element in this match. Like if anything, I think the missing link in this entire match was Abyss. Because I think Abyss was very underutilized in this match, and it's his gimmick. It's fucking strange. But Sabu, every time he hurts himself doing a move, that limp fall into the thing, like I just laughed out loud at that because I just thought it was lunacy. Like, I mean, as I said, it was. I mean, there was a lot of things I liked, but there was also a lot of things I didn't like. You know.
So tell us about the things you did like.
Things I did like. I have 3 main spots. I'll talk about 1 or 2 things that I thought were really cool. First, I thought Rhyno, when Abyss finally got to get like his moment and has the tax in his hand and he's getting ready to kind of like unleash hell, turns around and then he gets fucking gored off his feet through a table. I thought that was pretty fucking cool. I thought some of the chair shots were horrendously bad, like in a good way. I thought like Rhyno laid those in like a motherfucker. Like, I'm after like contradicting my own brain. Some of the dives,
chair shots today.
So some of the dives over the top rope were pretty fucking cool as well. And there was a lot of, like as I said, moments back and forth that like these guys kind of dug in deep and kind of hit each other, stiff. And I like to see that sometimes as well. But the 3 main spots that I absolutely fucking loved in this match. The first one was the poetry in motion spot, where Sabu was like, I think he gets hit down by Rhyno and he's on all 4s, and then Jeff runs and comes off his back. And he hits Abyss and then gets down and calls Sabu to do the same. And Sabu just comes up and kicks him clean in the stomach. I just fucking thought it was brilliant.
That was the cleverest moment in the match, I thought.
It was. That's what I liked about it. I was like, see, there you go. That's what Sabu should be doing more. He's fucking, and then I think I'm going to steal one of your spots here, but that's the name of the game. The fucking pile driver off the top or off the middle rope that Rhyno gives.
Fucking sick.
That was so fucking horrible. And man, kudos to Jeff Hardy for how he took that move. He looked like he died on that finisher. Like,
he probably did.
Probably did. He probably had no gas left, because I'm going to my top spot of the entire match. It was the one we all came here for, people. And this is why we rambled on for so long. Did you see how high? Not how high. Did you see how far out Abyss was on that table? Anyway, for context, if anyone hasn't seen this match, Jeff Hardy climbs up a ladder onto the top of the Titantron and goes out a few feet, then does the Swanton Bomb and scales the stage, like over the stage and down through 2 tables onto Abyss. I'm not How fucking high was that?
Like, I want to say it's a good thing Abyss is a chunky dude, because there was fuck all under those tables and they broke really, really fast.
You could tell when Hardy hit the ground as well. He kind of set up and just
he came straight up.
You know, he did. It was like reactionary when he hit. Like he came down through him and hit the ground, and then he kind of went to get up and then just flopped.
He buckled himself on that.
But asking you off the cuff, he's done a lot of insane swantons, right? That's got to be up there with one of the craziest. Because it's not even just the height; it's how far out he dives, which is why I couldn't get over. He scaled the whole stage. Like that stage has got to be at least 10 feet out from the Titantron wall to the thing down, and then you're looking at like 5 feet up, then whatever the Titantron is, and then another 6 feet of Jeff Hardy's height, jumping up further than that. I'd say at least 20 something feet, easily.
He's mental. Like, seeing the way he is now, broken down and stuff. I kind of wince when I see him doing that stuff from years ago, because that all, contributed to the way he is now. Or something.
I mean, you can genuinely see in his current WWE run that he has slowed down a lot. Like he's not as fast. He still does this stuff. Like he's still doing crazy stunts and jumps and stuff. But he did a whisper in the wind in the middle of this match as well, and it was so crisp. It was just up and spun and came down, hit Abyss. And when I watched it, I was like, he don't do it like that anymore. Like he literally climbs up on the top rope and then jumps at a slow pace, which is kind of like, when I look at it, I'm kind of going like, you shouldn't do that anymore.
No,
because now you've lost the flow. It's like Jericho now. As Jericho's a bit of an asshole, not an asshole, but a bit of a fuck you for calling me out on fucking up my move. He did the line salt, remember, and nearly killed himself in it because he missed. It was that he can't do the move. It was a botch. He botched it. And he came out this week on AEW and completely rendered that,
and smiled into the camera.
Look how well I do it, guys, at my fucking age of 50. It's like that's a point to make. But yeah, look, I mean, they're my spots, man. I ramble on, but you know me.
My spots were like I said when you were talking, Sabu booting Jeff Hardy into the stomach is what all these multi-man matches should be about. I thought it was the one move, and it was a small thing, but it was the one moment that made me sit up and think, oh, that was really, really clever, amongst all the chair shots and
it was an intelligent spot in a Carnage film match.
Yeah, it was a sit up and take notice moment for me anyway. Also, like I've said my piece on the dive, I think it's crazy. The motherfucker is suicidal at times.
The swanton, like.
Yeah. So dangerous, and it looked class, has to be said. But I don't know how the guy is still walking nowadays. My favorite moment of the whole match was the pile driver off the second rope.
Yeah.
I said it to you here last week when Mick Foley did the pile driver. It's one of my favorite moves.
We talked about it on the video. It's
one of my favorite moves to see. And then I don't think I've seen someone do it from the second rope before. And then the fact as well that it was Jeff Hardy again.
Yeah.
How?
After that dive.
Yeah. How is he still breathing, let alone walking?
I have one question.
Go on.
Before you go on. Do you think that jump was higher than Foley's dive off the cell?
Yeah, probably, because he actually had to jump,
up
whereas
and out. Yeah,
Foley
so he actually went up and out, not just down.
Foley was bent over already and pushed.
He kind of ran and went downwards. Jeff went up and over. Anyone that hasn't seen this swanton, I'll try find the link and send it to Brian to link it below. Just that move. It is insane how high and how far he jumps. For anyone that wants to watch it, we'll try find it for you guys. But so go on. You were saying?
So what would you score it, Tubbs, out of 10? The final moment.
Like if I had my way, I'd give it a full 10 just for the Jeff Hardy spot, because I thought it was.
Well, if you want to give it a 10, give it a 10.
No. But because we're looking back over matches and we're reviewing them and how they actually are, how we perceive them. I've seen this match 3 times. I love a chunk of spots in this match. but I'm very, very aware there is a fuck ton wrong with this match. And I said earlier, it was a 50-50 split for me because I liked a lot and I didn't like a lot. So I'm going to give it a 5.
That's really low of you. I thought you'd go way, way higher
Right?
than that.
No, for me, viewing it with these eyes now for the third time, looking back over it, it was very much, there was a lot in it. Like I got 5 points for the things I loved, 5 points for the things I didn't. It was very much a 50-50 split for me. Which is, how it goes,
And for me, I'm going to give
it's
it...
a 5 for me this week. Lost Brian? No, we haven't lost Brian. Wow.
No, I'm here.
Yeah, you're here.
Okay, so for me, I give it 3. Yeah, that's 3 fingers. 1, 2, 3.
I was like, what the fuck is he doing with the 4? And I give it a 3. Oh, no, wait, I have to recount that again, son.
Yeah, it's the green skipped. That's what happened there.
Yeah,
no, I give it a 3.
Yeah, so this one got a low score from us this week. Yeah. Can I ask you a question? You seemed shocked when I said, right, did you think I was going to score this higher?
I thought you were going to give it a 7.
Okay, no. I genuinely, like I said, I could have, as I said, I could have given it a 10 for just the Jeff Hardy spot because I fucking love that spot so much. It's so fucking insane and so dangerous and so cool. But the entire match as a whole was a very 50-50 split for me.
So for episode 40, as the Royal Rumble is on tonight, now this will be going out Monday night, so it'll already have happened. Next week's match is from Royal Rumble 2015, and I did mention a multi-man match a while ago. So our match for next week, and Tubbs is smiling, is Brock Lesnar versus John Cena versus Seth Rollins for the WWE title.
I will say one thing. The reason my reaction was like that was I genuinely thought you said we were going to be doing the 2015 Royal Rumble match, like the actual Royal Rumble for our 40th show. I was like, that is a fucking very different match for our 40th. But it's a very good pick.
That's the one where Reigns and Rock got booed out of the building, isn't it? Blued?
Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah. I'll double check it, but I think that's the one Reigns actually won. Because remember the crowd were like on this like year before it was Batista got booed because everyone went to Daniel Bryan. And it was the one where The Rock came out even go like, hey look, he's cool. And they all hated Reigns. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good pick.
Yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the little ramble festa about TNA and their monsters in their ball.
Yeah, we did fair rant this week.
Mostly Tubbs.
Yeah, it was me. Yeah.
So guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, tell us what you think, and also leave suggestions for future shows, and we will do our best to review them if we can find them. And that's it for this week. Have a great week, guys, and a great start to your February. We're still in lockdown. Enjoy. Bye.